I'm heading down on a hot cold wind, heading home to mine. I'm feeling so good, thinking of you and why you left me behind. Hey now, boys, come back home, back to the girls you know. Treat her right.
One of the groups that provided entertainment was the Toasted Ponies. They play traditional and contemporary bluegrass music, and with us are husband and wife, Pam Herbert Barger and Randy Barger, and we just met a moment ago, and it's great to have you on the show.
It's great to be here.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about you guys being here at the International Fair. Now, first of all, how many people are in the band?
There are 5 of us.
5 of you. Mm-hmm. And what do you guys play? 2 of you.
Well, I play guitar and sing, and Pam plays mandolin and sings.
And the International Fair is all about different cultures, and to a degree it's an educational thing. Give us a little bit of background about bluegrass music, and specifically when we talk about traditional and contemporary bluegrass.
Well, I'm guessing Pam's going to want me to take this one. A lot of bluegrass formed in what is now referred to as bluegrass country, the hill country of like Virginia, North Carolina, Kentucky, Tennessee, those areas. And a lot of the people who immigrated from places like Ireland and Eastern Europe, places like that, came over with their traditional instruments and their traditional folk music. And they started playing just whatever they could throw together. Somebody'd have a fiddle, somebody'd have a guitar. They'd all sit around and sing and play, and bluegrass music kind of developed out of those roots. Matter of fact, today it's almost considered necessary if you play bluegrass that you also know some of your Irish fiddle tunes, Irish guitar tunes, stuff like that, because they're very closely related.
Yeah. So the historical part would be the Irish part, right?
Yeah. I think other people might have some more things to add, but that's all.
What's your mix between contemporary and traditional? Or do you ever even thought about that?
Yeah.
What would you say?
50-50 maybe.
Maybe a little more on the traditional side, but we definitely do some contemporary stuff. Pam sings some stuff by like Dolly Parton, Emmylou Harris, those sorts of songs. We have even taken a couple songs that weren't even bluegrass songs and turned them into bluegrass songs. I think Steve Hansen, our banjo and mandolin player, probably is the guy who came up with the arrangement, but there's an old rock and roll hit called Walk Away Renee. You may remember that one.
I sure do.
And turned it
We're in
into
the same wheelhouse.
Yeah,
Yes,
we are. And he turned that into a bluegrass arrangement. And we do stuff like that from time to time.
Pam, how big is your kind of music in this part of the country? Because we talked about the background being primarily from the southeast, Kentucky, Tennessee, that kind of thing.
Be hard to make a comparison. I don't know, but there are concerts and people come to hear them. So
Is bluegrass as popular today as it has been, or is it getting more popular? What do you think?
I'd say it's probably getting more popular simply because it's not quite so regionalized because of the internet and the easy access to music. People can hear stuff and go, wow, I don't know what that is, but I like it.
And Live From Here with Chris Thiele has done a lot for that. The Prairie Home Companions follow up, and he plays mandolin, and so he brings bluegrass to the public stage.
Do you think you guys have a unique bluegrass sound, or?
I'd say the vocals might set us apart a little bit.
The vocals?
We're pretty strong on lots of harmony. Well, we have 4 people who sing. So
sounds like barbershop almost.
Well, it's
except
all
it doesn't.
part singing. And bluegrass is kind of funny because there are a lot of people out there trying to move bluegrass into some directions, maybe use some chord changes and things that they haven't traditionally done. But there's a pretty strong nucleus of people who feel that bluegrass, there's certain things that are kind of expected. And
Gotta have a banjo.
Banjo,
oh,
sure.
that banjo ripping off on an intro, bang bang to the bang bang to the bang. It's just nothing like it, you know. And boy, can Steve do that.
He's a champion.
Where all do you guys play?
The Arts Council jobs are probably our biggest thing, but we play, Zubar every year at the night before Thanksgiving. We have a fun gig with extra folks. For live places that people pay around here, I'm not sure.
Well, believe it or not, we play a few, 6 or so nursing home jobs. Just play little 1-hour concerts for the people there. They love it. I mean, talk about a good audience. They just.
What's the Arts Council connection?
Well, the Nebraska Arts Council has a touring artist series, and artists are on their website, the Nebraska Arts Council website, and then art directors or arts council directors from other communities go on there and look, and they go, oh, look at this, a bluegrass band. That would be nice. I think our people in our town would like that. And so they make a connection to hire us, and I'm going to forget which is 60 and which is 40, but either the local people pay 60 and the Nebraska Arts Council pays 40, or it's vice versa. But anyway, the Nebraska Arts Council generously picks up a big chunk of the tab so that we can go out to their community, and we go out there and play a 2-hour concert. And I love doing it, just love it.
We usually do a nursing home beforehand. We go to these towns. It's fun. And we do a lot of things outside in the summertime in parks.
Yep.
Seems like
Is
it David City? Yeah.
David City?
Is that the one we have
Yep.
coming up? Yes.
Good weather time is bluegrass time.
Yeah.
It's hard to play bluegrass outdoors in the winter.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. The International Fair is about celebrating cultures coming together, and I don't think there's anything more diverse than music. Mm-hmm. I mean, how do you look at music in terms of what you do and everything that's available? Are you fans of other kinds of music?
Oh yeah, she teaches a very different kind of music.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that have a lot of trouble having to choose my desert island music because I play piano and I teach piano, and I'm really big into Chopin and Beethoven, etc. And yet I like to sing, so I don't really care what it is I'm singing almost. I like to sing old country or whatever.
That's very cool. I'm glad you said that, because I think people feel like they are pigeonholed in terms of their interest in music.
Especially
certain styles, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And my ears have been open to classical music by living with Pam for 36. Is it 37? Coming up on 37.
Don't forget that one.
37 years, and so I really have an appreciation for classical music too. By like Caribbean, I love Irish music. And music from just all over the world is interesting, and it's fun to incorporate elements of it even in the bluegrass when you can.
Mm-hmm.
So is that kind of an objective, is to kind of spread bluegrass music around to folks who aren't familiar with it?
Well, our fearless leader, Steve Hansen, I think there are actually just kind of a small handful of people back in this area that are trying to keep bluegrass alive in the Midwest and promote it. And he's been doing it since clear back in Bluegrass Crusade days and with the Toasted Ponies, and he's been a champion of bluegrass ever since he was, a teenager, I think.
It was his dad's sorrow. His dad was a jazz man, and his dad just couldn't believe he went to bluegrass.
So that interest in promoting bluegrass music, is that an uphill climb, or is it becoming more popular, or?
Well, the Midwest is definitely not the center of bluegrass music. You look up the big names in bluegrass today, and if you want to go hear a concert by them, you can go back to Virginia, Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina. They're playing all the time over there. And then once in a great while, they make it to Kansas City or Denver. And if you want to catch them, that's when you got to catch them. So this is not a hotbed for bluegrass.
Yeah. How did you come up with the name, Toasted Ponies?
We weren't there. We're the newest members of the group.
Do you know the story, or?
It's not probably worth telling, though. It's a long story.
Or maybe it's not arable?
Oh, no, it's arable. I'll tell it really fast. Early on, Steve and the female lead singer they had before, and Jim, our bass player, went out. Erin McGovern was her name. They went out to the Telluride Bluegrass Festival, just on a whim, entered the amateur band competition. In other words, a competition that was not the high-paid performers who were hired to be
warm
there.
up.
Yeah, and I forget they either won or came in second.
But Steve took first in banjo,
And Steve,
second in
Steve's
mandolin.
won stuff everywhere on banjo, guitar,
Third on
mandolin.
flat pick.
Anyway, I think if I have the story right, on the way back, because you can't get a room in Telluride when this festival's going on, they camp somewhere.
Telluride.
The Telluride,
Colorado.
biggest bluegrass festival in the country. Huge festival, and you can't get a room anywhere for miles and miles around. So they camped somewhere. In the field next to them were some ponies. Erin apparently made the comment to Steve she wished she had a pony. So in the morning they were making toast, and he cut it. He cut a piece of toast into a shape of a pony and told her now she had a toasted pony. So
Well, that's a great story. When you started that, and I went to the pony part, and then I was thinking toasted. It must have been
Yeah.
quite a night the night before.
Well,
you know?
no, I'm not saying they
Probably
weren't
involved.
toasted. They probably were toasted.
Do you guys do any recording?
Yes. We have one that includes us, and there are three others before.
I believe so. 3 previous albums before we joined the band.
Yeah.
Are they available anywhere? Can you
Yep.
find them?
Yep, sure can. Get them through Steve Hansen, and also Jim Pfeiffer has a website just called jimpfeiffer.com that tells all the bands that he's in, and one of them being the Toasted Ponies, and that's a good reference point to find out anything about any of us. So,
Who are your favorite bluegrass artists besides what you do? I'm sure you're a fan of what you do.
well, I'm a super big fan of Brian Sutton as a guitar player. Of course, Tony Rice is almost everybody's favorite guitar player. Tony's kind of taken the guitar in kind of really new and unusual directions. Brian Sutton to me is a little more in the tradition of Doc Watson. You never lose track of where the melody is, and but boy is he fast and boy is he good.
What about you, Pam?
I'm blanking on her name.
Rhonda Vincent.
Rhonda
is
Vincent.
a vocalist I admire a lot, and Dolly Parton does some bluegrass, and it's just beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she is really multi-talented.
She is.
So you mentioned you teach piano.
I do.
Is that
That's my
the
main
combination
thing.
of those,
And
the band and piano team? And what about you, Randy?
Well, for years I was a photographer, and just recently, I say recently, it's been 5 years now, I took a job with Lincoln Public Schools. They run a school called the Pathfinder School. It's for kids that have been incarcerated. And our goal is to keep them on track with their schoolwork so that they don't have 2 strikes against them when they're released. So I work for LPS out there.
Wonderful. Well, thanks for being here with us on the show and for your performance here at the International Fair. The Toasted Ponies, Pam
Our
and
pleasure.
Randy Barger. Thank you.
Our pleasure,
Thank you
Ken.
very much.
Thank you.
cuando el amor llega así de esta manera, no se den cuenta. Amor de no respetar, amor de desplazar, no te perdono. Cuando el amor llega así de esta manera, no se den cuenta. Amor de compra inventar, amor de traspasar, no te perdono. Caballo de la sabana porque está viejo y cansado, pero no se dan cuenta que un corazón amarrado, cuando le salta la gente es un corazón deshecho. Caballo de la sabana porque está viejo y no cuenta, pero no se dan cuenta que un corazón amarrado. Mi vida se la prefiero vivir así. Bambolero, bambolera. ¡Ay, ay, ay! Mi vida se la prefiero vivir así. Bambolero, bambolera. Porque mi vida se la prefiero vivir así, solo así. Bambolero, bambolera. Mi vida se la prefiero vivir así. Caballo de la sabana porque está viejo y cansado, pero no se dan cuenta que un corazón amarró, cuando le salta la rienda es un corazón deshecho. Caballo de la sabana porque está viejo y cansado, pero no se dan cuenta que un corazón amarró, cuando le salta la rienda es un corazón deshecho.
Another group that performed at the 2019 International Fair and was great to listen to was Jarana. Jarana's leader is Daniel Martinez, and we welcome you to MCCTV. You guys are a local band, and most of you in Lincoln,
yes.
one member from Omaha. Tell us a little bit about yourself and the history of the band.
Sure. Well, I am originally from Peru, that's the accent from, and I live in Lincoln almost 10 years. And when I moved to Lincoln, I decided to put together this band, Jarana. It was one of my dreams project for many years. And I gathered with friends that we had a kind of similar music and taste. And we started in 2010, actually. So in June of 2010, and we'll be playing around for many, many events for Nebraska's Consul, the Lead Center, Village Point, South Point, bigger events that we share. Our main thing, what we like to do is share our music, our culture, inclusiveness through our music. That's what we like to do.
Perfect fit for the International Fair.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Jarana. I've got the pronunciation down,
you
right?
got it
Jarana.
right. You got it right.
Jarana is a musical instrument.
It is a musical instrument, but the name what we gave to our band, mainly that's a verb. That's a Spanish verb.
Meaning?
That means party.
Party?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the concept of party that we have for Jarana is involves a little more. It's more like the entire city or the entire village. Like South American countries, we have a plaza, right?
Mm-hmm, sure.
What is in the center there is a water fountain, and what we do is when this city wants to celebrate something, they bring music, they bring food, they bring kids, playing around games, these different kind of things. And the whole concept we call jarana, jaranear.
So it's more than a party.
It's more than a party. So it's actually kind of what we're having right here, right now. So,
yeah.
Which fits very well with our name, actually. So.
I love your music.
Thank you.
Got to listen to it, and we're gonna play more of it a little later on the show. And I might ask you to do something here on the set.
Absolutely.
So if someone were to say, Daniel, give me 30 seconds of something that really gives me a taste of jarana.
Sure, this would be something like this.
love it, man. Is that part of a song, or is that just an improvisation?
Just improvisation right now. Yeah.
Wow, you are really good.
Thank you, appreciate that.
And you are the guitar professor at Union College in Lincoln, right?
Yes, I teach at Union College. I studied there 16 years ago as an English second language, and they offered me the job to teach guitar, and I'm enjoying every single minute.
Now, on the internet it says you are a South American, African, and Mediterranean, which combines a lot of culture here, beats group.
Correct.
So first of all, what's a beats group?
Well, the beats, the rhythm that we bring to the instrument. In my country, we have a lot of the Spaniards. Also, we have the Africans came to our country, unfortunately as slaves. But what they brought is culture, what they brought is music, what they brought is tradition. It mixed with a whole Latin flavor. Mm-hmm. So what I like to do is bring that together in our bands, in my band, when we play also with the Incas, pen pipes. So that's basically my identity and where I'm coming from. And I want people to hear it. That's the main concept.
So how unique is your sound, having said all that?
Well, seems like we're the only band in Nebraska doing this kind of music. But what we like to combine is flamenco from Spain. We like to combine rumba, Latin rumba from South America. And we like to combine the music with the Incas, pen pipes, and also with the African foundation of rhythm and beats. So putting all these cultures together, I can say probably our band is kind of unique at doing this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So when you play, are these rehearsed, well-drilled, repetitive songs that you've practiced for a long time, or to what extent are you just kind of feeling it and doing it?
Well, all of us, we are professionals on these, but definitely we practice. We have to rehearse in order to communicate, have a chemistry between us and have a really good dynamics between us. But now these days, since we play all the time, sometimes we practice, sometimes we don't, and it's a really good chemistry sometimes when we play, brings how the people are reacting, and that's another key when we play, because we're gonna give them what we see and what we feel, and that's kind of sense of improvisation as well.
Yes.
But it's the improvisation, what people react, and that's what we like to do. Sometimes we go dancing with them or playing with them, or we invite kids to play with us. So that's kind of what we do.
I think of jazz when I think of what we're talking about, where it looks like somebody will take off and do whatever he wants to do for a while, departing from the song, really, right?
That's right.
And you do the same thing.
We do the same thing because I want people to be inspired by each musician, and they're unique what they do, and I want the congas to play how it's supposed to be played, the drums, the pen pipe. So I want everyone to have a taste what is to hear and see at the same time. So it becomes very organic to see every instrument.
So here's a hard one. You talk about wanting to impart culture and through music. Mm-hmm. So what is the bottom line message about the culture that you want people to understand?
That's a good question. Well, if we want to travel to another country, we need passport. Music, what we do, is a language and it's universal. And when we travel, or we want people to travel with us through different countries, we don't need passports. We don't need borders. We don't need anything that we need to present in order to cross the border. I just want people to come with us and go together on the journey that is our music. And that's what we do about culture. I want people to come with us in our journey, traveling with our music.
That's very well, really good answer.
Thank you.
And I think most artists probably are trying to do the same thing, regardless of what kind of music, right?
Absolutely, because music is one language, universal language. And no matter where we go, people will perceive, we understand, they will understand, oh, that's a conga and that's how it's played, because in my country we play something similar than the conga or the guitar, and they hear the same similarities of sounds and they feel connected, and that's what we want, is connect. And when we connect, becomes inclusive.
And for that period of time, they are right in the middle of the plaza and the jarana.
Absolutely, that's what we want.
Yeah, that's perfect. So what do you think of the International Fair, just the concept of bringing all these diverse kinds of entertainment together and what that experience will give people who attend?
I think we need that every day. We need that more than, I mean, more. We need more and more because people need to understand that, see other cultures, the way how we dress, the way how we eat, other tastes of food. So we don't need to travel to their countries in order to understand, that's how is the culture, that's how is the country. And just if we have more in our state, in different cities, not necessarily just Omaha or Lincoln, other cities as well, we're gonna have a little taste what could happen if we travel to another country. So I think we need that a lot.
Yeah, and really when you think about it, the United States is without a peer in that respect. We are, so many diverse cultures together in one place.
Exactly, the United States has that dynamic of bringing a lot of cultures together, and we mix between each other, and we create another culture together, and that's wonderful. That this country allows everyone, no problem of race, religion, color, accent. We're playing basically the same music.
Yeah, it's interesting because, in some discussions you'll hear people say that we don't do a very good job being together. But in a sense, nobody else does it better. I mean, in the world.
Well, I went to different countries, but I experienced in the United States something unique, that we see variety of different cultures in one country, in one land. And we have to take advantage of that,
What would you say we need to do to take advantage? In what sense do we need to take advantage?
Go to places that people gather together, understand their culture. When it's, for example, a festivity for Brazilian Carnival in February, do something in February to celebrate the Brazilian culture. May, Cinco de Mayo with the Mexican, September with the Mexican, July with Peruvian, June with Bolivian. So there are different festivities that if we put together and mix Bolivian, American, this with American, so we can add every single day we can celebrate.
Yeah, but not just for people from those cultures. Everybody should go.
Exactly.
And get a taste.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, and if we have something like that happening right now here in Omaha, I will invite people to come, because you have to wait another year to have the same experience. Let's not wait. Let's just have it every week, every day, and it's gonna be wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to search very far and wide to find opportunities to do that either.
Absolutely.
So, what other kinds of music do you personally enjoy?
Well, mainly thing what I play is flamenco, rumba, but classical guitar. I like jazz as well.
Classical?
Latin, yeah.
Classical?
Classical music, yeah. Playing classical guitar. Also, some merengue, salsa, Cuban music.
How about polka?
I can play, yeah, but yes, we can enjoy as well, yeah.
We were talking to another group about polka earlier, And again, it ties in with our conversation, It's such an amalgamation.
Yes.
So, if I were to ask you to play a second 30 seconds for us to give us a feel for Harana?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Please.
All right.
Something a little different.
Okay, something a little softer. What about
that?
Okay.
Wow, that's great, man.
Thank you.
That's great. That's a well-worn guitar there, isn't it? I mean,
yes.
You've had it a while. Why do you not have a Harana, though? The instrument would be a little smaller, right?
A little smaller, probably a little smaller than this size, but is basically the same concept with 6 strings, sound hole, neck.
Sound the same?
Yeah, it sounds a little more brighter, you know, because this is a little smaller. So we'll have a higher tune, we can say. But it's really good. I mean, it's really good for kids as well to learn because it's a little bigger than ukulele.
Yeah.
But a little smaller than guitar.
Sure.
So
where all do you guys play?
Well, we collaborate a lot with Nebraska Arts Council. So we are in the roster as an artist band, and we do a lot of workshops with the school and universities, sharing our passion, our music, where it's coming from, the music, and connect with the kids and teach them a little bit about, you know, and expose about the music. And we play South Point, Village Point, with the lead center, doing a lead center events. And during the year, we do those kind of events. In summer, we get busy, you know, performing outdoor.
Every week, probably?
Mostly, every week. I'm playing a lot also as a soloist in churches. I play a lot. I like to share my passion. I have this because of God, it's not because of me. So he gave me that, and I want to thank him, you know, playing different denominations as well.
That's great. You have a website.
Yes. It's under development right now, but it's still it's danielmartinezmusic.com. But you can find us in our page in Facebook. Just type Jarana Musica or Jarana Band, and they will find us.
We probably ought to make it clear, Jarana starts with a J.
It starts with J, correct. You got it. Yeah, it starts with J.
We started off the era. You know, I took some Spanish in college, so, you know, I knew Jarana.
Good, yeah.
Very good. Hey, great to have you here. Thanks for what you said and for your music.
Thank you. I enjoyed to share. Thank you for this. Thank you.
Daniel Martinez from Jarana, and let's avail all of you another opportunity to enjoy their music as performed at the 2019 International Fair. who came to MCC's 2019 International Fair got a glimpse of the Hawaiian Polynesian Review dance troupe. They perform a combination of native dance from Hawaii, Tahiti, and the Maori culture in New Zealand. With us, two performers, Linda Atia Evans, I think I got that right, and Yafata.
Yes, sir.
Good start, right? I got the names correct.
Right.
Good to have you on the program.
Thank you for having us.
Did I describe Hawaiian Polynesian Review? Is that correct?
We try to cover we try to bring aloha to the people of the Midwest, and we try to cover 4 cultures. And Lafata is from the Samoan culture, and he does the fire knife, but we try to represent the South Pacific cultures in the Midwest.
Through your performances, which include dance,
Right.
fire
and knife.
Yes. That's what you do?
Yes,
Right, and music and drumming.
And music and drumming.
Right.
And 2 performances here at the International Fair this year, one in the afternoon, one tonight. And I guess did you say 12, 13 people involved in the entire performance?
That's good.
Yes, and if you're familiar, people talk about it all the time, but they will be doing the haka from New Zealand.
Oh.
You know, the All Blacks rugby team?
Yes.
And they do the haka? Well, they're going to be doing the haka tonight also.
You know, one of the things I do in my professional life, I broadcast sporting events on the radio.
Right.
And we had a player at the University of Nebraska from New Zealand. And he plays on the All Blacks basketball team. And but his name is Ty Webster. I don't know if you know the name Webster back there, but
I think I heard that. Yeah.
So did he do a little bit of haka for you?
Well, he was always talking about it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So you try to bring the South Pacific culture to life through your art.
Exactly.
Right, and especially because maybe some people can't travel there, so we can bring it to them.
So we're going to show part of your performance at the end of our discussion here, and probably show you a little bit of it during our discussion. How do you put into words what that culture is and what it's about, what it includes?
Or actually, it's like everyday experiencing when we grow up in the island, and we see a culture like passing down from generation to generation. It's really an amazing thing to have a beautiful culture, and it's really makes us proud of who we are. Especially, it's something that we are so thankful for our ancestors to creating that culture for us to follow and be recognized in the world for a beautiful culture that we have.
And he gets to share it with everyone also.
And now we got a chance to share our culture with the world.
You bet.
Yeah.
Again, it's hard to put it into words, but what are some of the things you'd say the culture is about? I mean,
you could probably explain the haka to him, what that means.
And Samoan culture might be different than some of the other South Pacific culture,
They're
right?
similar but different.
Yeah.
Similar
They're
but
similar.
different. And the haka has a certain meaning behind it.
Yeah. The haka is actually what we're gonna do tonight is how we create people when they come into our community. So for us, we welcome people, but we can't trust them right away. We welcome them in, and then we give them a chance to by presenting the leaf. It's the leaf of peace. It's giving them the chance to tell us what exactly they are coming in our land for. And for some reasons, some people come in for war, some people come in for peace and to visit. So for them to pick up that leaf, that means they come in peace. And if they step on it, they come in the war. So so that's what our greeting is about.
But that's an ancestral representation
Right.
of your culture.
That's right.
But I assume it still has some meaning today, right?
Yes.
In terms of what? If I meet you as a Samoan, I need to prove myself in terms of what my intentions are in the
Exactly.
relationship.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
So have I proved myself yet, or?
No, actually.
No, I say, have I proved myself yet
Of
to
course,
you?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah. But am I right? Is that correct?
Yeah, our culture is all about respect, and we really want people to come in to all families and experience what our everyday life is all about. And I've been growing up in the culture, and sometimes it's rough, sometimes it's tough, because we didn't have everything that we need, but we're just grateful for what we had.
Mm-hmm.
That brings us to this point.
And you left Samoa when? I mean, you live in Kansas City now, right?
Yes.
Why did you leave?
Well, in 2005, I had a chance to join a group that went to Germany to represent our culture, and then we came back and had the chance to come to Princeton for another show contract in 2007, and then when we got here, we see how things and how the life is really good here.
Yeah.
And I can see the future of all kids in this country. So I decided, maybe it's time to settle down.
Sure.
And,
Yeah. So you left initially to perform.
Yes.
Basically, yeah.
That's right.
Right. All Polynesians tend to stay together and support each other and eat each other's food. We love the Polynesian food.
Okay, what are we talking about? Rice, pork? I'm
Rice,
just guessing.
Pork and taro.
What's that?
Taro is the leaf plant, and we
It's a
eat
Pacific
the root.
potato. Let's put it that way.
It's like a potato.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you eat the root. And then there's a macaroni potato salad that is invented actually in Hawaii. And then there's sapsui, and there's all kinds of great Polynesian food. So we, of course, always get together to share our cultures and to eat our food that every culture brings. We love the food.
Yafata is from Polynesia, or from Samoa. What's you're in St.
Mine
Louis,
is mainly
right?
mainly Hawaiian. Mainly
Hawaiian
right.
background.
And I have a bit of native blood in me also. And of course, we're all natives. We all have a bit of native blood in us anyway. We've been here for centuries.
Yeah. So take us through the show a little bit. I mean, what do you do at the beginning, and how does it progress?
Well, we open with a lot of drumming. The father takes care of that, and we go out to the audience and invite them to share our show with us and our culture. And we usually cover a lot of dances of Hawaii. Then we cover dances of New Zealand possibly, or the Maori with the poi balls. The poi balls at one time were from New Zealand. They were a weapon, but they're no longer a weapon. We dance with them. And on top of that, I think we have a good Tahitian dance where we wear the grass skirts and the big belts that everyone loves. They love to see that Tahitian.
It's not the
drum
same
music.
thing as hula, right?
Oh no, hula is a different hula. It could be a fast hula, it could be a slow hula.
Mm-hmm.
But in Tahiti, it's more fast hips. So we'll do that tonight too.
Well, I mean, it's similar, right?
They're
The hips
similar.
are moving.
It's different basics, but they're quite similar, except that Tahitian is more faster than the actual
Right,
Hawaiian
in
hula.
Tahitian, you're moving your hips really fast, but your hands have to go slower than your hips.
Wow.
You're two speeds on your body at the same time.
So then what happens in the show?
So then we usually try to bring the audience up and get them involved and learn some of the culture, learn some hula, and learn to dance with the drums. And then we finally have the finale, which is usually the fire knife dance and spinning of the fire knife.
How dangerous is that?
It's it takes a lot of risk, but it took me many years to practice to get where I am right now. So it's pretty much comfortable with doing it, yeah. But of course it's dangerous. It involves fire and a plate on the end of the stick. So, but I've been practicing a lot, so
Sure.
I'm
If
comfortable.
anyone gets hurt and burned, it's usually the fire knife dancer, not the audience.
Well, that's a good thing. So, to summarize, what do you want folks to know about the South Pacific culture that, through your
Well, for
performance?
myself, I want people to know that we're here in the Midwest to share the aloha. And I want to share with them as much of the cultures of the South Pacific as possible. And I want to be able to create a good feeling of aloha within the group and within the Midwest, and be able to share it as much as we can so that people are more familiar with who we are and that our costumes are for those cultures, not mix us up with hula hoops.
Anything to add to that as far as what you hope
I mean-
people walk away with?
Well, it's more of trying to get our culture out there. I really believe that we have a very unique culture, and we need people to see what we really are, and we're more respectful. We're more welcome and common, and just want them to know that we are happy people.
Sure.
Yeah, we're happy
So-
people.
When you say you want people to understand aloha,
Yes.
one of the things I learned in a few trips to Hawaii is that it's not just a greeting at the beginning of meeting somebody, but at the end as well. So what does that mean?
Aloha is actually a good spirit you must carry with you, and it's a spirit of love. And you try to share that love and communicate that love to people that you meet anywhere. You try to have more patience with them, be more peaceful, show more love, more acceptance.
It's a great concept to have a word that means all that. It
Yes.
certainly transcends hi or goodbye,
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, a long time ago, the Hawaiian people and several cultures, even New Zealand, would greet each other by touching nose to nose, nose to nose. And at that time, it meant the breath of life. And you would go, aloha,
Ah,
and it was the breath of life.
see, we had to get that question answered, right?
Yes, we did.
That might be the most important part of the whole discussion. Very good. So you guys go all over the country or within reason, or what's your...
Well, wherever they ask us to go, if we're able to come and the date is open, we will be glad to come. We tend to move more through the Midwest because there's already groups in New York and there's already groups in California,
Yeah,
so they don't need us.
you're filling a void in the Midwest.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And you have a website,
Yes, I do.
and it is?
It's the Hawaiian Polynesian Review, REVUE.com.
.com. I looked at it. It's you spell out REVUE. How else would you
Right.
spell it?
Well, the other way people would spell it if they weren't
Review.
careful was REVIEW,
Yeah.
which is a book review. We're not a book
I
review.
got you. I got you.
Okay.
It's a review. It's a performance. Yeah. Very good. You've been injured. When are you going to get back in action, do you think?
Well,
As soon as he gets this
yeah,
liniment he's looking
but
for.
I'm still have some other things that I can do to help the show.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
Very good.
He's a good dancer, too.
Wonderful. It's good to see you both. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
And for performing here at the International Fair. Speaking of which, let's take a look as these guys and their cohorts, co-performers, presented it at the International Fair 2019.